maybe the first step, try it again, and if not, we can do it via PayPal.
Okay. Thank you.
Just okay as we go.
The membership on the 31st, so I think it is working out. There was a time where nothing was coming through. And if you
Yeah.
can do, just send it directly through PayPal as president, or whatever. If they send as friends and family, we get the whole $75 instead of them having to do 77, and that's getting 74 change. So,
Yes, that's what I've been telling them. I think that there are some people that attempted when it wasn't working and their status shows as pending and they didn't reach out to anybody to try to fix it. So that's what we're trying to capture.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Anything else about membership?
That's all.
Okay. A couple things I want to put on your to-do list for this month is membership T-shirts. That's one. You all said that you all going to coordinate an event where people could sell their shirts. We still got a lot of our shirts left, so one, we need to see what we have left, get that out to everyone. If they remember, we have this signed, and then go make an order. I don't want a lot of spending towards the end of the time. If we can get this knocked out ahead of time. And but I would like everyone to have their shirts for any May events that we may have. We're going to have a lot of forward-facing events forward-facing virtual events. And we definitely want our volunteers to have their RYP T-shirts on, just as branding purposes. We're going to be working with a lot of, organizations that can really help to assist us, in multiple ways, including fund development.
A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Political Briefing. It's me, your host, Quentin R. Giles, and we have some stuff to talk about. First off, let me say I am so sorry that I am 7 minutes late. I guess that's the beauty of running your own thing. You don't have to be on time. Listen. I was on a Zoom call and I'm like, okay, come on. I got to get to the show. Come on. I got to get to the show. Y'all, the Zoom call is actually still going on right now, but I was like, I cannot leave my people waiting any longer. I did not prep them and tell them I was going to be late tonight. None of that. So I have no idea what they're talking about right now. I will have to get caught up. Not you can hear the Zoom call. Oh, goodness. Hey, it is what it is. So thank you all for being here. Again, welcome all. As you can see, we're in the studio. You see, baby, I got whiteboards. My people told me to get whiteboards so I can take notes and remember things that need to be done. So those are things that need to be done in the background and things we're working on and all of that. So we're in here working. Y'all know we got 4 interns. We're bringing on some employees. So we're working. All of those things. So thank you all for being here. We are, definitely going to jump into, this is day 6 of the Derek Chauvin trial for the murder of George Floyd. Just by a show of comments, who all has been watching the trial? Have you been watching? Because I want to know what you're thinking as well, because I have lots of thoughts. One of the things I even wrote down over there was for me to do a video after all of this is over, just to really talk about the process of watching and covering this day to day, or at least Monday through Friday. So that'll be coming up after the trial. That I think that'll be pretty cathartic to do that. So I see you. Hey, Aaron E. Mona Kennard says I have. Kamitria said I can't watch it for my mental health. Kendra said not today, but yes, last week I did. Tracy, I've been watching pieces since I'm at work all day. Miss Shamika said nope. Christina Hillard, no, just wait, it jumped. It jumped. Sorry, Christina, your message jumped. Jamel Hillard said I have been listening while I work. Okay, yeah. A lot. I think the two biggest takeaways from today, excuse me, the two biggest takeaways from was the police chief of the Minneapolis police. And am I saying that wrong? Somebody tell me I'm saying it wrong. Minneapolis, right? Minneapolis. It's Minneapolis. The Minneapolis police chief came out there and testified against Derek Chauvin. Not only the Minneapolis police chief, but also the police inspector, Katie Blackwell, came out and testified. Those were the two biggest, I think, testimonies that happened today. Yeah, they also had the doctor that testified, that the doctor that was the one that pronounced George Floyd dead, which there is some value in his testimony. But the biggest thing was like the police chief coming out talking or speaking out against his own officer in no uncertain terms, saying like, you know, what he did was wrong. Like, we don't do that. Katie Blackwell backing it up, saying we don't teach that. Like, whatever he did, that was ad hoc. That was very much a spur of the moment. That was very much him doing his own thing, because those are not things that we teach our cadets, our policemen, anybody that we send on the street. We do trainings year after year after year to de-escalate, to reassess, to learn how to deal with people that are either having mental health issues at the time and or on some type of drug. So they was like, no, whatever this is, no. And I think the police chief was damning towards the defense, but Katie, like, knowing, she testified like, oh yeah, I've been knowing Derek Chauvin for like 20 years or so. And so she was like, yeah, I know him, but what he was doing, that's not what we teach. We don't teach that. And I was like, all right, Miss Katie better let us know. The police chief up there, like, no, no, absolutely not. I'm looking at the video. No, you got to get out of here. We don't do that down here. We have respect for our people in the community. I think something that the police chief said that was very poignant was that, police officers have to take into account that the community members, that could be their very last interaction with anyone, period, based on what happens when they are interacting with the cop. What he is saying is it could go really well or it could go really bad. And we see in this case, it went really bad. I appreciate that comment because he understands the gravity and the power that a policeman or policewoman has with that badge and the authority that comes with that badge, the almost license to kill, if you will. There are certain instances where police have to fight back and then people died. This was not that. So I appreciated that statement. I appreciated that he didn't tote, the good old boy policeman line and basically came out and was unequivocal with it and was like, no, ma'am, Pam, baby, what you did was wrong. We don't do those things over here. We don't do those things over here. So I really appreciated that. The defense now, I have to take the defense with a grain of salt because I've been trying to stop myself from getting upset at the defense, understanding that the defense's job is to defend Derek Chauvin. So I get that. But some of these arguments, he be playing in my face. Like, stop playing in my face. Baby boy, back up. What are you doing? There was a moment where he was trying to discredit the police captain, right? Side note, the prosecution walked us through the police chief's entire resume. I mean, from him being a beat cop all the way up, that took us 45 minutes to an hour. But the defense then came in and tried to almost discredit the police chief's, I guess, how close he is to his officers, basically implying like, oh, well, you haven't made an arrest in years. So, things change or training has changed, since you did your original training. But he's done that with a lot of people. He has done that. The defense has literally done that with every expert witness that came, trying to discredit these people's education, whether it be the EMT, whether it be the witness who was a paramedic, even our guy, Mr. Williams, who was a witness who, is a skilled fighter. I believe it was in jiu-jitsu or something like that. Seeming to always trying to discredit these people's credentialing. Even the doctor, to a certain degree, trying to discredit his ability to do his, I was going to say doctoring. That is totally not a word. I forgot this ain't kitchen table talk. But, you know, even like his medical professional opinion. That's what the defense is trying to do. It's upsetting me and my homegirls because I feel like you should just be able to argue your case and not try to come at somebody else's education and their experience. But I get it. You're the defense. You're doing that thing. One thing the defense did point out, he played a clip of the video when Katie Blackwell, the inspector, was up there and used this term camera angle manipulation, and he basically played a clip of the witnesses video, which is the one that we all seen, and then a clip of body cam video right side by side at the same exact times, right before the paramedic was coming. Or right before the paramedics like literally picked George Floyd up and put him on the stretcher and took him away. And so from the body camera of the police officer at that time, Derek Chauvin's knee was actually on George Floyd's shoulder blade, almost trying to insinuate and make a case that he was never on his neck. He didn't say this, but this is what he's insinuating, right? Because in a murder trial for the defense, he's trying to, really for the prosecution, you have to prove that this person committed a murder beyond reasonable doubt, beyond reasonable doubt. And if there is doubt, then you can have a not guilty verdict or a mistrial. So the defense taking that, not saying that Derek Chauvin's knee was never on George Floyd's neck, but insinuating that there was camera angle manipulation, because look at this, he wasn't even on his neck in these 10, 15 seconds. He was on his shoulder blade. So, and that was a good tactic from a lawyering perspective if you're trying to get your client off and need at least one juror to say they don't agree. Like, let's say all of the other jurors agree with guilty. If one doesn't, then we have a hung jury. Derek Chauvin goes home, right? So in a lawyering aspect, okay, good move. But on a human aspect, stop playing in my face. That man was on that man's neck. Right when the paramedics was coming to move him, then you move to his shoulder blade after you had laid on his neck while he was unresponsive for at least 4 minutes. So like you were on the neck longer than that, but when he became completely unresponsive, all that time you were still in the same spot, and then you want to show me this clip of a video when you had shimmy or ricocheted on down to the shoulder blade and want to claim video manipulation, and you're expecting me to throw out everything else that I saw? Stop playing in my face, sir. Stop playing in my face. I don't like that. Stop playing in my face. I don't like that. So that was really the bulk of the day. I personally think that the testimony was damning, just because you are seeing cops, I don't want to say turn on their own, because that implies, and it's crazy that that's the term that would even come to mind, because it speaks to the culture of policing that we have become accustomed to. But it is interesting to see cops not lie. It's interesting to see cops not lie for their fellow cop in this type of situation, and being straightforward and saying, that is not what we stand for. That is not what we teach. That is not our culture. That is not our values. And what he did does not represent us or what we want to do in regards to policing the community. Excuse me. So I still say it was damning testimony. Now, me personally, I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. I'm not holding my breath on a conviction. I'm just not. I've seen this story one too many times. It's different with a police chief coming out speaking against his own cop. But I've just seen this story one too many times where we clearly see something was wrong on camera and the cop gets off. Am I hoping that there's accountability? Absolutely. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm not even asking for the death penalty. Don't believe in it. Life in prison, I'll take. Don't believe in the death penalty. So I'm not even asking for Derek Chauvin to be put to death. I'm just asking for accountability. And I'm not even saying that accountability deserves life in prison, or a life sentence, although a life was lost that day. But I'm looking for accountability, but I haven't seen it. And so it's hard for me to imagine it to be true. Although I save space to be completely wrong. I save all the space to be completely wrong in that assessment of what I think is going to happen at the end of this trial. Like I said, I've just seen it one too many times, and it's almost muscle memory to expect that the cop will get off. So that is what we saw today in the Derek Chauvin murder trial, trial for the murder of George Floyd. We're going to be keeping updated on it. I'll be dialed in. Let's talk politics a little bit. I did catch a little politics. Biden has moved into wanting to do infrastructure. It looks like they are going to try to use the same tool in reconciliation. They only have one more trick or one more reconciliation for the year. So it looks like they're trying to use that tactic like they used to get the coronavirus, the American Rescue Plan, how we got them $1,400 checks. It looks like they're going to try to use that for that $1 trillion packages, roads, bridges, all that good stuff. So we'll keep a lookout on that. We saw Pete Buttigieg out there talking. Y'all already know how I feel about Pete Buttigieg, but he in the job. So let's see what he gonna do. So that's there. We'll keep an eye out on that. Of course, Joe Manchin over there, Joe Manchinin, when it comes to that. But I mean, to his credit, he is a senator and he does not necessarily have to bow down and kiss the ring of the Democratic Alliance or party or president just because he's a Democratic senator. I feel as though we've talked a lot about Republicans who bow down and kiss Trump's ring and just went with everything. And so if it's good for a goose, it must be good for the gander. And even if Joe Manchin is annoying us by his words, it is in his absolute right to not just go along to get along, to say, I want something different when we do this infrastructure package. And seeing as how the Senate is split with Kamala Harris making that tie-breaking vote, you need every vote. So on one hand, it's like, hey, Joe Manchin is using the cards he got to get what he wants. Okay, for his constituents, right? On the other hand, it's like, boy, can you stop playing and just come on with the come on? But at the same time, too, we can't hold Republicans to a standard of not bowing down and kissing the ring, and don't hold the Democrats to the same one. So, we'll keep an eye out on that, baby. This politics, that's how politics go. That's just how politics go. I'm just saying. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't even say do this. Thank you so much, Stephanie Smith, for the super sticker. Guys, if you want to send a super comment or super sticker, go ahead and do that because the show is going to be ending pretty soon. So we want to make sure we get your comments up on the screen and chit and chat and talk about it a little bit. Thank you so much, Stephanie Smith. So that's one thing that I did see earlier today. I also saw the controversy with Ron DeSantis and the potential public scheme and paying, giving them the COVID vaccine, and they contributed money to his campaign. I just want the FBI to go ahead and investigate that. Thank you so much. Keep investigating Matt Gaetz as well. Y'all know how I told y'all before, I don't care. I have zero tolerance for adults coercing sex with children. I definitely don't have any tolerance or any space for rape or sexual harassment in any type of fashion. But even more so when it comes to children, I have a great disdain for that. And one day maybe I'll talk about it in its totality, about me and my own personal experiences when I was a child. So I have I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. I have absolute zero tolerance for adults who do that. So FBI, please continue to investigate Matt Gaetz. Please get on down there to Ghislaine Maxwell as well. We ain't forgot about her either. We'll be bringing her back up as the trial goes forward. So those are the things that are definitely in the news right now. We keeping up. I'm trying to tap back into the politics as well, just a little bit, so we get a full round coverage. Because y'all know I said I was going to be deep in that Derek Chauvin trial, and I'm still going to be there. But I definitely want to still loop back into politics and see what the people doing, see what y'all doing over there. So yeah, one more thing before I go. I posted something on Sunday where I posted a video of Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, and there was another senator that was actually talking about a provision that was in the American Rescue Plan that I did not know was in there. And I'm glad they actually talked about it. That American Rescue Plan, the one that, created a way for us to get that $1,400 stimulus check, had a provision in there as well that said once the government cancels student loan debt, you won't be taxed on it. So prior to this, like let's say, even though Betsy DeVos can't really canceling nobody loans, but if they canceled those student loans, you would still owe a tax bill on the certain amount of money that was canceled, right? And so I think the example they used was like if you cancel $30,000, you would get somewhere around a $6,600 tax bill, right? That you would have to pay by the next year, which is kind of like still dead. Oh my gosh, But what a provision that they put into the American tax or the American Rescue Plan is that when they if they cancel student loan debt, there is no tax penalty or there is no tax payment. It is just canceled. So that moves us one step closer to absolutely canceling student loan debt. We've already gotten reports that President Biden is asking legal scholars to not draft, but to pull the research to see if it is legal for him to wipe away student loan debt with the stroke of a pen. We know that Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer in the Senate, we know Ayanna Pressley and others in the House are advocating for the president to eradicate $50,000 worth of student loan debt, which I tell you will help so dramatically in the lives of people. I know me for sure, because that'll bring me down to like a little under 40, baby. When I tell you, I will go out and get a 9 to 5 real quick to pay that off. I love sitting here talking politics with y'all, and you know we survive on your Cash Apps and your PayPals and your super comments and stuff. But baby, I will go, because you know how that interest compounds so quickly. I will go get me a 9 to 5 real quick to pay them student loans off in a jiffy. Okay, play with me not. But think about what all that will do for people not feeling comfortable to buy a house, or buying a house and kind of being house poor because your money is going to the mortgage, your car note, your insurance, and your student loan, or people who are not trying to have a baby. Now, I can tell you this, I'm not having no baby till I'm financially stable, or I'm financially stable right now, but I got to, the student loan debt. I say, no, man, Pam, you can't bring no churn up in here with that. That's too much. That's too much for me. So, but just think about that. Think about Elizabeth Warren talk about how it would close a percentage of the black-white wealth gap, or hey, white people, we like y'all, but we're just saying, like, white people have had an advantage all these years. The Latino X or the Latin descent, Spanish descent white wealth gap, the indigenous white wealth gap, basically every other person of color and disenfranchised person of color, and the wealth gap that is there, how dramatically that would close. And I think she used great examples about, people saying, well, what about me? I paid my student loans off. What about me? That's not fair. Well, this helps you as well, because now people who got their student loan debts canceled don't want to go and start businesses or buy a car or buy a house, which boosts the economy, which ultimately helps you as well. I say, come on, Elizabeth Warren, come on with the explaining away. She flipped that one. Now, I hadn't even thought of that. She flipped that one. I said, I'm going to have to use that because that one was good. So we'll be looking out for that. You know how I feel about student loan debt. I say cancel it all, but I'll take 50,000. Cancel it all. These rich people have gotten tax break after tax break for decades. So I really don't care about what it's going to do to the national debt. I don't want to hear it. Nobody cared about what was going to happen with the national debt when Trump was in office, nor prior to that when y'all have been giving rich people and corporation tax breaks all these years, until a good amount of us really kind of woke up to politics, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't really pay attention until Barack Obama was in office. And it wasn't even that it was Barack Obama that made me pay attention. It was because I was hearing how he was being treated in office and how the racism that was thrown at them. So I was like, oh no, man, Pam, what y'all did to the first black president? So it was really y'all's actions that ignited a spark in me. And then what really got me to talk and stuff was Trump. That's what really activated me, because I was like, oh no, man, Pam, we're not going to be able to do it. But when you look back and you're like, well, this is why we're here, because y'all been doing this for so long and we were not paying attention. I know a huge amount of people were not paying attention, and now we are. And we're like, no, don't talk to me about national debt, because regular people need real help when you've given billionaires and trillionaires tax cuts and help that they don't need. No, don't care. Figure it out. Cancel my student loan debt and figure it out on the other side. Or maybe impose a wealth tax. How about that? After all the tax breaks you've given them over decades and decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, you mean you can't charge them a wealth tax to help us this 1, 2, 3 times? Not even 2 or 3, because I don't count the stimulus checks as like, oh my gosh, they really did something. Like total, what, we got like $2,500, a little less than $3,000 in a whole pandemic. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So cancel student loan debt, period. Anyway, guys, I do apologize again for being late. That was not the plan. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask you all something. I'm going to be here. I will be on time, but I'm going to ask you all something at 7:10 CST. Okay, y'all know we start at 7. I'm going to ask y'all And it'll be free. It'll be free. I'm not asking y'all to buy nothing. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. But I'm going to ask you all to do something tomorrow at 7:10 CST. And I hope that you all will. I hope that you all will. So if the Lord says the same, if Jesus says the same, I will be back tomorrow. You all, thank you all so much for rocking with me. Thank you for being patient while I was a little late to the show tonight. But I will be back tomorrow. Again, guys, or not even again, I didn't say dissent, not disrespect. We've not had a lot of disrespect that's popped up, but dissent, not disrespect, not just in politics, but in every aspect of your life. People do not have to agree, but we can learn how to talk to each other that is still respectful with a whole bunch of disagreement. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? Till next time, it's your political BFF. I'll see y'all later. A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts.